right, ladies and gentlemen, Sunday is here. Let's go. We've already got, 2 games down through the first week of the 2024 NFL season, which means the first week of the 2024 fantasy football season. But here we go. Sunday's slate is officially almost here. Got a little bit of time. So, you guys know what we're going to do. Fantasy Q&A, anything that you guys need, start sits, ads, drops, last minute waiver wire, trade questions, opinions, roster reviews, weather updates, injury updates. It's that time of day. It's that time of year. Let's go. I'm so excited. I think this will be a great day of football. Got some really good matchups today. But the nerves do come in as week 1 is here. So whatever you guys need, get it in the live chat. I'm going to be on until kickoff starts. So we just kind of sit back, talk some fantasy football. Make sure you guys have possible lineups set. Hopefully bring home some fantasy dubs here in week 1. All right, so it doesn't matter what format you're in, half PPR, full PPR, 10 teams, 12 teams, double quarterback, super flex, single quarterback. The only thing I probably won't be able to advise you on is IDP, but I can still try. All right, and if you guys feel good going into the day, let me know what matchup you're looking forward to the most, what how your roster looks, even if you feel confident. Let me know what game you're most looking forward to watching. We'll get rolling here. I will also probably go through like each matchup for today and just kind of let you guys know like overall where I stand with each player. I'll let you know what matchups I kind of have circled. Everything we've already talked about throughout the entire week, we'll just kind of review here. And I see some of you guys asking in the chat about like anytime touchdown scores, underdog lines. I can go over all that stuff as well. I don't think we're going to get any bad weather, but I'll double check and we can get that out of the way. Yeah, it looks clear or in a dome stadium. The Commanders at Bucks has a 54% chance of rain, including thunderstorms. Possible delay if there's lightning present. So that's maybe the only game to watch out for. But I'm not worried about it. McDouble, what's going on? Welcome to it. Marvin or Debo this week? I'd probably go Debo. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is fine, but I think maybe get a little bit more touchdown upside with Debo. If you're worried about the matchup against the Jets, I mean, I think Debo has the highest advantage in this matchup. I also like Debo less if Christian McCaffrey doesn't play. I think that makes the Niners offense less efficient, but I don't think we're going to. Oh no, what just happened? I don't know if we're going to get a true injury update on Christian McCaffrey until Monday night. And I feel like the Niners want to use that to their advantage. So if you want to go in and just start Marvin Harrison Jr., I mean, he does have a better matchup. And I think arguably a better game script. I don't know, like, if we're going to get a ton of points between the Niners and the Jets in this matchup. So I probably go Debo, but myself though, I don't know. That one's a little bit tough. I think both are completely fine. Who are you leaning towards, chat? Who do you guys like more, Marvin Harrison Jr. or Debo? J-Dubs, what's going on? Happy week 1 Sunday to you. Richard Glass in the house. What's going on, man? Stranger danger. Good to see you. Have a great week 1 of NFL action, fantasy action. JSC, we got Adams, Puka, Olave. Yeah, this is a tough one too. I really like Puka this week. You know, when you're looking at like this caliber of player, like you're probably going to come down to matchup. It's probably similar for the question we just hit with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Debo. Yeah, I think it comes down to matchup here. But at the same time, like Olave and Adams, I would say Adams, like definitely are basically in that must start category. Believe it or not, the Panthers gave up the 3rd fewest fantasy points to opposing wide receivers last year, which feels really weird. Like literally, they were top 5 against wide receivers last year. So, on the other hand, the Chargers were bottom 4 against the wide receiver position. So, I probably go Adams and Puka, but it doesn't mean that I'm low on Olave or out on Olave. But I think the lowest scoring potential game here is the Saints Panthers as well. I think Puka is the must start player. I mean, the Lions secondary, Rams secondary, both just god awful last year. So that's a matchup I have circled. Like we want to start just about everybody. And I have been saying throughout the week, like the Rams run defense wasn't great last year, and I was completely wrong. They were the second best, ironically, right after the Lions. There's a point last year where their run defense was really bad, and they really picked up. So fact check myself. But both secondaries bad. I guess I go Adams Puka. Tommy, what's up, bro? Gus Bus or J.K. Dobbins as RB2. So, yeah, as this week has gone on, I've gotten more and more worried about Gus Edwards. I think I'm sticking by him for the week. But I do think that Dobbins is going to get value touches in this game. I still want to believe that Gus Edwards will be the goal line back and has the higher chance to score. But this game is, in a sense, become a little bit of a stay away game for me on both sides of the ball. Maybe outside of like Adams and Zamir White. Like I don't know. I think I'd still start Gus Edwards. I do believe he will be the goal line back here. I do believe he has the better chance to score. But Vegas really likes Dobbins. Vegas feels like Dobbins is the running back who has a higher chance to score, apparently. I mean, I don't put like a lot of stock into my fantasy predictions being based off of lines that are moving in terms of like sports betting apps, but I just find it really interesting that they've had Dobbins like far ahead. I'm going to keep the faith in the Gus Bus. Oh, a few first touchdown players. Oh, I hate first touchdown props. I do think Kenneth Walker's okay if you want to go with one of your Hawks. I think anytime touchdowns you could kind of translate potentially into first touchdown scores, but Bijan, JJ, James Cook, Tyreek Hill, Kenneth Walker, Jerome Ford, Mike Evans, Amon Ra. I think any of those guys are fine as first touchdown scores as well. I like Jerome Ford, Zamir White this week. So hopefully that's somewhat helpful. But yeah, first touchdown's so tough. I mean, I get it. The odds are nice and juicy, but it's just a little bit tougher. I do like Jordan Addison this week. It's such a good matchup. His odds are really, I mean, they're like plus 310. Tank Dell, Roma Dunze, those Gus Edwards, those are the guys who are plus 200 or more that I'm still willing to take. Mari Cooper, Chris Godwin are plus 180 and plus 190 to score, and Puka's at 130. So I like all those guys. If you want a little bit more risk adverse there. So like Travis Etienne and Zach Moss, Alvin Kamara. So there's, I think, a lot of good options out there. Problem is, like, if you put enough down on a first touchdown score, and I get this is part of it, but it's like, who gets the football first? You know, look at the Ravens Chiefs games. Like, could have easily been, I guess their first touchdown was Worthy, the other was Henry, but it's like the way that game went, whoever got the football first was going to score first. Rashad White, Kenneth Walker, James Cook, Joe Mixon, Bijan Robinson, Alvin Kamara is my bet for the day for touchdown scores. So we'll see what happens. All right, Jada, thank you for gifting a 1 month membership. Goes to Tommy. Let's go. Can we do an underdog pick segment? So I did try to do a video this week for you guys. And then throughout all the videos this week, you know, obviously I was putting lines in as well. So that way you guys, I mean, I should probably just post them at the end of the week or something for those of you guys who want to see them, like in the Underdog chat on Sleeper or on Underdog or on Discord. Sorry, I'm still waking up. But I like James Cook, whether you take the higher on a rushing touchdown or rushing yards. I like Kenneth Walker, same thing, rushing touchdown, rushing yards. Don't forget, you can use the vulture protection token. Should still be able to where you can select one running back, and if they get vultured by another player, then they kind of get voided in your lineup. So like if you choose James Cook and then Josh Allen runs one in on a drive, that won't count against you as long as everything else in your line hits. Evans and Godwin receiving yardage total. If you want to be a little bit more risky, touchdown total. I will remind you guys, touchdown lines are very, very risky. They don't feel risky. They feel so intriguing, but they're very risky. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, love both of their receiving yardage totals. Tua over 1.5 passing touchdowns. And those are probably my favorite for the week. All those guys I just mentioned when talking to Tommy, though, I think are good to take because everything I'm looking at is based on matchup. 4-point passing touchdown. What's up, Bryce? Fields or Burrow? Burrow. But yeah, I mean, I guess it depends if Chase is out, but I don't know if I want to throw Fields out there week 1. I just don't know. Chat, let me know how you're feeling. Like, are you okay starting Fields in week 1? Albert, what's up, man? J-Dubs like Stebo. Let Marv play the first game and see. Definitely fair. Johnny D, that's me. That's actually me. Who are you starting? I mean, it's just my name too. It's not me asking the question. Burrow, Caleb Williams, or Fields. I know Burrow's the best option, but the wide receiver options are worried me. If you're worried about the wide receiver options, there's something about the Bengals matchup and Burrow that's scaring you. I would start Caleb Williams. Good upside this week at home. All his wide receivers are healthy and playing. I think the run game's going to be fine. He's got tight ends, improved offensive line, looked good in the preseason. Like, I still don't necessarily expect like a massive performance, like a super high ceiling, but I do think that Caleb Williams is going to be good week 1. And maybe could have a nice ceiling, So yeah, I'm completely in on Williams if you need to start him. I think he's completely fine. Smitty, what's up? Need one flex. Godwin, Ford, Sutton, White. Good options. I like Ford a lot. I like White a lot. I still think you can start Sutton if you need to. But I'm going to go with Chris Godwin. Yeah, I'm going to go Chris Godwin. The Buccaneers wide receivers this week, I just absolutely love. Washington doesn't do anytime TDs. Oh, yeah. I mean, you could take a couple of those guys and do anytime TDs. I'm okay with that. Or do some first time. Is that what I said? Anytime, first time. Andrea, good morning. Burrow or Purdy, and Burrow or Caleb. I think I go Burrow. I'm not out on Purdy. I still think you can start Purdy, but I just am worried about that Niners Jets matchup. I really think the defenses are going to come through in that game. But if you want to go Purdy, I still think you can. Still a QB6 last year. And yeah, I mean, it just really depends on how you feel about the Burrow situation as a whole, about the Bengals, like wide receivers and everything. I think you have two valuable options here, viable options between Purdy and Caleb Williams if you need to roll with them. So if you want to do so, I'm good at that. But I still think like if you're in a situation where you're worried slightly about Burrow or whatever, like you can still start Burrow. But if it's bothering you, you don't feel confident, then just get it out of your lineup now. I don't think that it's, you don't want it to hold you back. And then you look back and say, I knew I should have not started Burrow because his wide receivers weren't playing. But at this point in time, we don't have any update. I mean, if you guys get an update on Jamar Chase, I guess we're expecting T. Higgins to not play at this point. So that's kind of a bummer. Brady, what's up? We got 4 to choose. Evans, Collins, Pickens, Judy, D-Hop. D-Hop is going to play today. Is expected to play. Pop Douglas, Shakir. So I definitely go Mike Evans, Collins. You got to go Pickens. It's really the last one. For me, it's not Judy. Let's skip out on Pop Douglas week 1. I think he's worth rostering. So it really comes down to Shakir or D-Hop. I'm okay with going Shakir here because the matchup is so much better. So I'll probably go Shakir. And I mean, plus Shakir's not coming off of the injury, right? So I'll go Shakir as the 4th option. But yeah, I mean, you got to go Evans and Collins. I know Pickens feels a little bit viable right now, or volatile, I should say, because we're probably going to get Fields at QB. But I think you just got to roll with him here. Zabby, 6-point passing touchdown, 1 point for 20 total yards. Goff or Stafford? I love both these guys this week. Love this matchup as a whole. This is a tough one. I think you could go Stafford over Goff here just because I would expect, more potential touchdowns to Gibby and Monty. But that's tough. Love this. This is one of those matchups I have circled. You know, I expect points in this game. Goff's at home. Could really flip a coin here. Chat, who would you guys start? Goff or Stafford? I think both are great, though. All right, we have breaking news. Tyreek Hill was detained by police today entering the stadium for a driving violation, but he's expected to play. Nothing like some Tyreek Hill drama to kick off our Sunday slate here. Yeah, so Tyreek Hill, I still expected to play, but I guess he was detained today for a traffic violation. Let me know if you are concerned. Zamir White or Chuba Hubbard, asks Andrea. I'm going to go Zamir White. You know, I do think Chuba's fine this week if you have to start him. But I'm going to go ahead and try to not start him because it's still a bad matchup on the road here. And the volume should be there for Chuba Hubbard, but if you can afford to not start him, I just think it's excuse me, better. And on the other hand, Zamir White still has a great matchup, albeit he's on the road. He's got to be the workhorse running back here. It's got to be Zamir White for me. I still think Zamir White is a really solid RB2 option on the week. If you need to start him, don't be stressed about it. Najee or Chase Brown in half PPR, asks George. What's up, George? Yeah, I mean, this is a tough one because you've kind of got two situations here that just feel kind of meh. Like maybe Chase Brown gets more involvement today because we have less wide receivers playing, looks like, for the Bengals. So, I mean, I think if you get Chase and Higgins out for sure, you could go ahead and roll Chase Brown out there if you feel like you want more upside. But that's the thing here. Chase Brown is the kind of upside play. And then Najee's the floor play. I'm still okay with just starting Najee here. I would personally probably play it safer and roll Najee out there. I don't really know what the ceiling is going to be for either of these players, so I probably just go Najee, play it a little bit safer. Still, I still really believe Zach Moss is the true RB1, but I think where it gets interesting is, if there's might be an opportunity there for Chase Brown because of the situation going on with the Bengals wide receivers. But do I really want to try and find out week one? I don't know. Zabby, happy PR, have to sit one. Mostert, Chase, Ayuk. This is very tough. I mean, I probably start Mostert. I don't know. Are you worried about Chase not playing? I mean, I believe we'll probably get an update on Chase in the next hour or so, before the 1:00 games start. So, I mean, I think if Chase starts, you have to, in this situation, you have to start him. So all you're looking at is a bad matchup for Ayuk, and then is Chase going to play or not? I think you could easily just keep Chase at Ayuk in your starting lineup. Like I looked through my leagues last night, and I'm still starting Ayuk in a couple leagues. And not worried about it. I mean, I still drafted him for a reason, right? And he's still a starter on one of the still is what's going to be one of the best offenses in the league this year. So it's not a great matchup necessarily, but I think you got to try and still go with Ayuk and Chase here. You know, if you're upset, worried about one of these situations, then you can throw Mostert in. I still think he has a safe floor. All right, full PPR, Pat Fryermuth or Brock Bowers. This is an interesting one. I think Pat Fryermuth is actually going to have a solid day. Regardless of the quarterback play, I think he'll be enough involved that he'll have a good day. The Falcons were bottom 5, the 5th worst team against opposing tight ends in fantasy last year. It's just, how do you feel about Fields probably getting the start here? But on top of that, you know, Fryermuth is the second receiving option on this team too. So I kind of like Fryermuth. I think Brock Bowers, you can still definitely start. Chargers top 15 against the position last year, a little bit of a tougher matchup. We don't really know what we're going to get out of Bowers week 1. We haven't seen him play. I think the safer play, Fryermuth, more upside Bowers. We'll see. Andrew said Chase is doing warm-ups this morning. I feel like Chase is going to play. I don't know. Let's see. In PPR, McLaurin, Zamir, or JSN. Probably McLaurin for me. JSN, I think, has sneaky upside this week. I still like Zamir, but I'll go with the wide receiver 1 in full PPR. All right, here we go. Tommy, I don't know why this was showing wrong at first, but need 2 wide receivers in a flex. B-Tom, Ridley, JSN, Rome, Javonte. This is actually a tough list because there's a couple guys in here I think are sneaky this week. I think you have to start Ridley, you know, even with D-Hop probably playing. I think this is tough because you got a lot of like flex caliber guys, and you're going to have to roll 2 out there, right? So I probably start Brian Thomas Jr. against the Dolphins. Ridley, just because I do expect better volume in comparison to some other guys you have listed here. And JSN. But I like Roma Dunze this week too. I think he's sneaky. And I like Javonte. I think he's sneaky too. So this is tough, but I probably go with those first 3 because you're looking at 2 wide receiver 2s and a wide receiver 1, and Rome is still the wide receiver 3, whether we like it or not. But I could see any of these guys outscoring each other. That's a tough one. Trust your gut. Oh, we got new Tommy. What's up, other Tommy? Pollard or Brian Robinson and PPR. You got 2 split backfields here for sure. So you're really just banking on who's going to score a touchdown out of these bunch, more than likely. Looking at matchup, let me pull it up here. So Pollard gets the Bears, who come in 23rd against the position. I think Pollard has the better matchup. Tampa Bay was top 5, 4th fewest fantasy points to running back. So I do like Brian Robinson this week, but he's on the road, as is Pollard. I'll go Pollard, but it's very close. Very close. Like I said, a touchdown could be the deciding factor between these two in terms of who scores the most, but give me Pollard. Tommy likes JSN today. Lockett's banged up. Tyreek Hill rested. So yeah, it looks like he's going to play, but I think he was just detained, not arrested. But I don't know. With Love down to pick up Herbert, Watson, Geno, or Baker, I'd probably pick up Herbert. But I also like Baker. I think Baker's going to have a good week 1 too. So like right now, it feels like the most quarterback needy teams in leagues are going to be Jordan Love owners, especially in single quarterback formats. We'll see what the rest of this week brings. So I don't think you're going to have to like be fighting for quarterbacks just yet on the waiver. Maybe if like Anthony Richardson comes out and has 6 points, Kyler Murray comes out and throws 3 picks, like, or if you have a guy like the problem is if you have a guy like Baker come out against Washington's defense in week 1 at home and puts up 25 points, you have a guy like Stafford on the road against a poor Lions secondary, put up 25 points, or you have Kirk Cousins go off. Like there are going to be some of these names who are available in leagues for the most part who will not be. So if you're a Jordan Love owner, like this is a big decision because you're really looking for a starter for at least the next 3 weeks, but it could be longer. So I think I'm okay with just going Herbert here. But Baker, I mean, if you could get both, I think that's okay too. Shanahan has said Ayuk won't likely get full workload this week for what that's worth. Yeah, I know. It's a tough, like, it is a not full workload still enough? Maybe. Maybe. He's still Brandon Ayuk. It's just I feel like the Niners are throwing us such a wrench between the CMC situation and the just Ayuk situation. Chuba Ford, Chase Brown, pick 1 in full PPR. So once again, I think Chuba's fine, but I'm kind of like not super excited about starting him, I guess. Chase Brown, I think there's opportunity, but I'm not going to call him a must start. So I go Jerome Ford. I love Ford. I think he's a smash play this week. I think he's got the best touchdown upside here. He's going to get really good volume. So for me, it's got to be Jerome Ford. Got to be. James Conner or Malik Neighbors in half PPR. Half PPR, I might go with Malik Neighbors. I think you can go either option. But like I think Connor's fine. It's where did the Bills come in against running backs last year? Right in the middle of the pack, 17th against the position. So, and I expect them to be worse this year. So, I mean, that one's it's close because I still think Neighbors has good rushing touchdown upside this week. Excuse me, receiving touchdown upside because it's such a good matchup. And in half PPR, like you need your wide receivers to score for the most part. I'll say Connor for a floor, Neighbors for upside. Yeah, Hill's gonna play, so if you own Tyreek Hill, don't panic here. Full PPR play 2, Pickens, Ridley, Javonte, Sutton, Addison. This is an interesting list. I think Addison's really sneaky this week. It's a great matchup against the Giants. If you feel like you need some upside, maybe you face Xavier Worthy or Jaden Reed or AJ Brown. You want to risk it for the biscuit. I like Addison this week. And then I probably play Pickens or Ridley, whoever you feel best about here. I mean, I like Javonte this week if you have to start him. I like Sutton if you need to flex him. But I think if you don't have to, I'm still a little like I want to sit back and kind of see what the Broncos offense looks like this week. So I will say Pickens or Ridley, flip a coin. And I mean, if you're going for a floor play, you can just start Pickens Ridley. But if you want some upside, I think Addison over one of those two is okay. Looks like Chase has been spotted warming up this morning. So Tommy's got JSN Ridley, B Tom. I'm okay with that lineup for sure. Burrow, Daniels, T Law. Then we had this one last night too. It's such a tough matchup. Like it really comes down to how do you personally feel about the Joe Burrow situation and who he's going to potentially have available at wide receiver. I mean, I don't like really prefer to start Jaden Daniels this week on the road in his first start. But if you want some upside and or if you have to start him, I'm still okay starting him. I just don't necessarily know that you need to. Like he's a must start. I do like T Law this week. Like I think his floor is really safe. I could see him throwing for at least 2 touchdowns. I the Jags Dolphins is one of those matchups that I feel just really good about this week. So, this is a tough one. If you're worried about the Burrow situation, then you're still in a spot here where you can X out Joe Burrow. It's fine. You have Daniels for some upside. You have T Law as well. So I'll say if we're going to get rid of Burrow in this equation, Daniels for upside, T Law for a floor. All right, Tommy's got an update. Chasing Bengals to not reach a deal before kickoff. And I at this point I expect that. Like it's 11 a.m. It's game day. Like they're not going to reach a deal before 1. You know, uncertain if he'll play. Like I will say, you know, like Chris Jones, Nick Bosa, like we have seen players recently miss a game or two in contract negotiations, hold out for a game or two. I don't think it'll get past that. I don't think it'll be more than that. But just annoying for fantasy. Ford, Sutton, Monty, PPR need 2 flex and a running back. Was this 3 players? Are we missing a player? Because right now you have 2 flexes and a running back. You have Ford, Sutton, Monty. If you needed 1 flex and a running back, I'd probably go Monty and Sutton in full PPR. But if you wanted to go Monty Ford, I'm okay with it. Should I start Najee or Ramondre? Excuse me. Sorry. In standard, I probably go Najee, but it's close. I still think there's good volume for Ramondre, but oh no. I think the Patriots will definitely be leaning on Ramondre in this game. I don't know if his touchdown upside is necessarily there, though. He's got the better matchup, and I'm a little worried about the Steelers' offense today. So I think you can go Ramondre, but it's close. And I just don't love the touchdown upside for either player. Happy PR thinking of trading Ford and Palmer for Zamir and Shakir. Thoughts, need a running back for the rest of the season. I mean, this is a fair swap. I mean, two of my favorite late round guys, running backs this draft season were easily Ford and Zamir. And yeah, I mean, I still think Ford is going to be the guy longer than most people might anticipate. But if you want to get Zamir, I mean, he's locked in as the workhorse running back there, and it's not even close. So I will say I prefer Palmer over Shakir, but Shakir at least has enough value that I'm okay with doing that. So I'm okay with the trade. I think it's a fair swap. How much confidence should I have in Josh Allen hitting the week one? You should have. You also have Herbert. Yeah, if you should have the most confidence. I mean, this Cardinals defense is awful. Like, even if you think that the Bills have like downgraded overall offensively, no more Stephon Diggs, you don't love the wide receiver room, whatever. This matchup week one, it's not going to matter. This Cardinals defense last year was one of the worst in the entire league. I mean, they should be better this year, like, but they're not. They're not going to be good by any means. And I say they should be better just because they were so bad last year. Um, yeah, you should have the most confidence, and you should not start anyone over Josh Allen, including Justin Herbert. Hunter tried the zero RB strat. We got AR, A-Chain, Monty, Amara, Puka, Laporta, Waddle, Fairbairn. Cowboys got Swift on the bench. What? How many teams are in this league? Your team is loaded, so I think you're fine. If a zero RB team included A-Chain and you got Monty and Swift as your RB2s, then you're more than fine. This is more of a hero RB approach in my mind, but this has to be a smaller league, which is it's a 10-team league. This is a good team for a 10-team league. How'd you end up with A-Chain, Amon-Ra, Puka, Laporta, and Waddle in a 10-team? Good team. Yeah, I mean, I had nothing to worry about here. Something random. Two teams in my home league did stacks. One is Hertz, Brown, and Smith. Another is Stroud, Diggs, and Nico. Should be interesting. Yeah, I mean, stacks are beneficial. You know, you look at the Eagles week one, probably feeling pretty good. With Chase and Higgins out, pick two: Godwin, Moore, Amari, or Uzavis. It's Godwin and DJ Moore for me, but I do like the other options. Once again, like I like the opportunity here for Andre Uzavis, but it's like, you know, what are we really gonna get? Like, do we want to risk everything? I like him more if Chase or Godwin are healthy because there's way less defensive pressure on him, and it's like the Patriots defense wasn't awful last year, you know? So I go with the clear-cut guys here, and I like Amari Cooper a lot, but I love the matchup for Godwin, and I love the matchup for DJ Moore. I know that some people are worried because we we're in a tough spot here where the Titans last year were so bad against opposing wide receivers, but now they add Snead to this defense. So some people looking at it as like, you know, maybe DJ Moore gets shut down, but they're going to find ways to move DJ Moore around the field. And there's going to be points I would anticipate where Snead is on Allen as well. I don't know if they're going to float him or not, but like there's just so many good offensive players, especially at the wide receiver position for the Bears, that I'm just not going to worry about it. And I think DJ Moore is still a must start for me, and Godwin as well. But I do think Amari Cooper is going to have a good week. So you got good options. Rolling with Uzavis and Dynasty versus John. We've got a good matchup this week. Got a good matchup. Good luck. Worried about Pickens getting double teamed all game versus Falcons. Should I go Javonte or Addison instead of him? I mean, you can, and that's kind of the problem with Pickens this week is like, what is the quarterback situation going to do for Pickens? I'm not quite sure. And then on top of that, I really think that the Falcons defense today is going to end up having a good day. They're at home. They've improved in the off season. And I mean, you still have AJ Terrell specifically on Pickens. So I don't even know if they'll double team him, but I get what you're saying because it's like, I mean, next up is Pat Fryermuth. That's about all they've got to worry about. I don't think Van Jefferson's going to do a lot of damage. I haven't checked, but I don't think Roman Wilson, is playing. So should certainly be interesting. If you want upside here, I think the play is Addison. I threw Addison in one league. I threw him in over Deontay Johnson. It's a double flex. So I threw him in the flex just for a little bit of fun, a little bit of upside. So, I mean, if you're worried about Pickens, I do think Addison's fine. I mean, this Giants secondary is so bad. And Darnold and Addison have shown good chemistry. So, I'm okay with rolling him out there. Javonte's fine, but yeah, it's full PPR, so I like Addison a bit more. Uzavis going to have a big day. I mean, the volume's going to be there. We can expect the volume to be there. But like I just think he's an okay flex for sure. I'm definitely okay flexing him. No doubt about it. But like, do we want to start him over guys like Chris Godwin in the flex, Terry McLaurin, even guys like Deontay Johnson, Cortland Sutton? I don't quite know if I'm 100% there. Still think he's got tremendous value and he's going to see great volume. But I still like him more if Chase or Higgins plays. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I hope he has a great day for those of you guys who are starting him, though. Got A-Chain round 5. Wow. Wow. Great. That's a great team, Hunter. If that's a 0 RB team for you, you did great, man. What are realistic expectations for Trey McBride this week? So I like Trey McBride. I mean, he's got to be a must start. I really feel like Trey McBride, regardless of matchup, is going to have enough volume that I don't think it's going to matter. I don't know where the Bills come in terms of, against opposing tight ends, but even if they were good last year, like I'm not overly concerned about it here. So, yeah, I think double digits a lock for Trey McBride this week. Nothing to worry about if you own Trey McBride. He's got to be in your starting lineup. Super excited to see Jada Daniels. Still can't believe he's my QB in my home league. Yeah, I hope Jada Daniels has a big day too. The upside's going to be there. And wow, breaking news. The Cowboys and Dak Prescott have agreed on a 4-year contract extension. $240 million will make him the highest paid player in NFL history. So Dak gets the bag. will remain the Cowboys starting quarterback. All of that offseason drama for nothing. So you can now feel confident in your Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb shares. So we've gotten lots of kind of breaking news throughout the stream, which, Sunday morning, I kind of expect. Especially, I guess, for week 1. This is pretty typical, but Dak gets the bag. Let's go. How are you guys getting Puka and Devon A-Chain in week 5? Or round 5? Calling Kyron to have a hat trick today, 3 touchdowns. Could be a shootout versus the Lions. 3 touchdowns a little steep, but I mean, I guess Barkley just did that, right? So I'm not going to count it out, but I expect big days out of Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, and I do like Kyron. I expect big days out of Monty and Gibbs, Amon-Ra and J-Mo, Laporta. I mean, this is just one of those matchups you have to have circled. Have to have circled. Everyone should ball. All right, the Steelers are officially starting Justin Fields at quarterback. So put that into your equations here. If you own George Pickens, I think it's still okay if you have to flex George Pickens. But this is going to be really interesting. Really interesting. All right, Tommy with the breaking news at the bottom. I love it. Goodbye, Micah Parsons. I think they can. I don't know the calorie. There's no way that they did all this and they didn't leave some room somehow, some way. I mean, it feels like every year, I don't even know if cap matters. You know what I mean? Like, these teams always find a way to sign whoever, keep whoever. So, I would imagine they're going to find a way to get the Parsons deal done. I mean, Parsons will probably end up holding out next year because he's going to go for the highest possible contract. So they're probably going to like franchise tag him and then go from there. But I mean, that's probably going to be a long negotiation as well. I would imagine he's literally going to try and come out as the highest paid player at the position, maybe all around of all time. So all that Dallas drama, I try to tell you guys in the offseason, don't worry too much about it. Grab Fields in my home league yesterday to have behind Jaden Daniels. Nice. Are we really starting Ayuk after holdout and mostly seeing Sauce? I mean, if you have to, I think you can, yes. If you have to, I think you can. If you don't feel good about it and you could afford to sit him, I think that's fine. I'm in a league where my only options are J-Mo and Sutton over him. I've already flexed Flowers and Rice, and then I'm starting Hill. So I think I'm going to leave Ayuk in. I'm projected to win by 10 points. So I don't know. I get it. If you don't feel good about the Ayuk situation, then just sit him. But I think I'm gonna trust him. Had to grab Fields. My team last 2 years was Fields of Dreams and Fields of Dreams Part 2. Nice. Facing Ayuk in home league. Going Godwin over Ayuk. I mean, yeah. So like, if you have a player who just has a smash matchup and is like I think J-Mo's still a little shaky. I really like J-Mo. Love his matchup, but a little bit more risky. But if you have like a Christian Kirk, a Chris Godwin, a guy with a really, really good matchup, then just throw him in over Ayuk. I'm good with that. Najee or Javonte. I mean, I think this is pretty close. Javonte has the better matchup. But I think Najee's in line for a better day. I mean, it just comes down. Like, we got Justin Fields or Bo Nix, rookie quarterback. I'd probably go Najee, but it's close. Saya, what's going on? Welcome to it. Week 1. Let's go. A Rich or Stroud. Upsides with A Rich, the floors with Stroud. I think both are completely fine. Both are fine. Both are fine. I mean, this is like I would probably start the safe play and go Stroud, but both are fine. J-Dubs likes Javonte. CJ Stroud. Yeah, I will say Javonte's tough this week because Bo Nix is starting, but the matchup's so good. Like, if they weren't on the road and Javonte or Bo Nix wasn't starting, I'd feel so good about Javonte this week. And like, I do expect for the Seahawks defense to be improved this year, but it's still just a really good matchup on paper. So if you feel confident in Javonte, I think that's fine. How do you think Kyle Pitts will do today and McLaurin? Both fine. Yeah, I mean, the Pitts situation is interesting because we had that like last second, hamstring injury pop up and then go away. So like, I guess Kyle Pitts is fine. But they'll both be fine. They're both solid stars. All right, bottom of the chat. We're an hour in. Let me know what you guys need. I'm trying to go through my personal lineups and make sure I'm good on all ends here. All right, breaking news. Jamar Chase is active and will play today on a snap count. So now comes to question, are we starting Burrow? Are we starting Chase? Are we starting Uzavis? Listen, I'll say this much. Jamar Chase on a snap count is still fine with me. It's like guys like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Christian McCaffrey. Like, when these players are on a snap count, I do not worry because the touchdown upside is easily still going to be there. So I'm not worried about it. If you were hesitant about Joe Burrow throughout this morning, I think it is safe to start Burrow. And I definitely think it's safe to start Chase. Just roll them out there. It's still a good enough matchup. I think this is our answer. And now I like Uzavis a little bit more. But once again, like you don't want to start him over players in the flex that we've already established throughout the week are going to be solid starts who have good matchups. But if you're in a position where you need to flex him, he's fine. He's going to be the wide receiver 2 today. He's fine. Keep in mind though, like the Patriots were still good last year against the wide receiver position for the most part. Mediocre. So I'm not expecting anything massive, but it's like I still expect a very good offensive day out of the Bengals as I have all week long. Week 1 at home. I mean, I think this is just too good of a spot to ignore. We know Burrow's healthy. We know Chase is playing. So just go ahead and roll these guys out there, right? If Chase is active on snap count, I'll start Burrow, but without I was concerned. Agree. I already asked, but who are you more confident in? Because I'm so 50-50, I need to answer Najee or Javonte. Let's go Javonte. Yeah. Let's go Javonte. Roll with him. Not overthink it. And leave it at that. Good matchup for him. Let's not overthink the rookie quarterback situation. Let's just roll with them. Call it a day. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got about an hour and 24 minutes. Whatever you guys need. Any fancy questions, get them in here. I'll go ahead and go through my favorite matchups for the day, which have basically been my favorite matchups all week long. Matchups you don't want to ignore are the Jags, Dolphins, Rams, and Lions. Now, for moving into kind of a next tier, I'll probably go Commanders, Bucks, Cardinals, Bills. And while it might not feel like the most attractive from a fantasy standpoint, Vikings, Giants. You got a really bad secondary there for Minnesota, and you've got an all-around bad defense for the Giants. So, guys like Jordan Addison, Devin Singletary, if you're, you went out and drafted Malik Neighbors and you're kind of worried maybe in week 1, I think all these guys you're still starting. And yeah, of course you're starting JJ. And if you have Aaron Jones and you're kind of like, maybe you have someone on your bench, like Aaron Jones, your RB2, and you got like Zamir White or Javonte or Brian Robinson Jr., I still think Aaron Jones a really solid start this week. So Cardinals, Bills, I get everyone out there. I don't know if the ceiling's as high for some of the Cardinals players potentially, but I still like Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison, and James Conner a lot. Now the Bills is tough because like I can't say with confidence really to start Shakir and Curtis Samuel, Keon Coleman. Like they're still just kind of flex options if you need to. But Jags, Dolphins, every offensive starter should be out there. I mean, maybe outside of Jonnu Smith. We should have Evan Ingram, should have Kirk. You can definitely flex Brian Thomas Jr., should have ETN. If you need to start T-Law, all those guys are fine. In terms of the Dolphins, you're already starting all these guys, but Mostert, A-Chain, Hill, Waddle, need to be in starting lineups, and I really do like Tua today as well. So Commanders, Bucks. Once again, I feel like maybe not the highest ceiling for the Commanders players, but they will be pushing back. So guys like Scary Terry, Jaden Daniels, I'm definitely okay with today. I don't love the Commanders running backs as much, but I still expect points in this game. Could definitely see like Brian Robinson scoring a touchdown. But the Bucks, Evans, Godwin, Rashad White have to be in starting lineups this week. And super flex, double quarterback. I do like Baker this week. How are you feeling about Ridley matchup versus the Bears? I mean, it's a tough matchup for Ridley. I think it helps that D Hop's going to be out there, but I'm okay with flexing Ridley for sure. For sure, okay, starting Ridley this week. So I think if you, I mean, like you're looking at Uzavis over Ridley potentially. I just throw Ridley out there. I throw Ridley out there, and I don't overthink it. Need to move Ridley around to be viable. Not there yet. But over Uzavis, I mean, Chad, who would you guys start? Ridley versus the Bears or Uzavis versus the Pats? I think A-Rich is set for a big day. Last year he played the Texans. He had 17 points before he got hurt. What do you think? Yeah. I mean, like I said, the upside with Anthony Richardson today might be too much to ignore. But if you have another option there that you feel is a good floor, then you can roll with that too. Like Josiah came in with A-Rich or CJ Stroud. Like that's a really tough one. But yeah, I mean, if you're starting Anthony Richardson, this is why you drafted Anthony Richardson. You drafted him to have a high ceiling, to have upside on a regular basis. So yeah, don't overthink it if you own Anthony Richardson. I mean, he's still a player who we are starting this week. You know, I know a lot of people maybe went out and drafted A-Rich and like a second quarterback. If you did that, then I think you just got to remember you still start Anthony Richardson. You know, you really drafted a second quarterback like more so if you know Anthony Richardson gets hurt. It's not really like we're looking to start someone over him. So yeah, if you have Richardson, you have to start him. Not even close. Javonte or Ridley. If it's full PPR, I'm still going Ridley. Still going Ridley in full PPR. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys need. Back to the bottom of the chat. We'll just be hanging out for the next hour or so. Pete's going to come in at some point, I believe. So let's go, let's go, let's go. I'll go through Underdog pick'ems as well. I'll go ahead and get Underdog pulled up. Traded Chase and Jawan Johnson for Amon Ra and Pitts. Is that a good trade? Yes, that's a smash trade. This is a great trade. Amon Ra, in my personal rankings, I had above Chase in the offseason. Pitts is a 100% smash over Jawan Johnson. It's a good trade. Jalen Wright ruled out. What does that mean? Yeah, I mean, they probably just want to go into this game with two active running backs, A-Chain and Mostert. They feel confident that both guys will be fine, and that's it. All right, so what do we got going on? I'll enter a little. I want to do it on my phone. For some reason, I can't enter pick'ems on. Like, see where it says I have one active pick? I don't have one active pick. And I don't know how to fix that. And it only happens when I'm on my desktop. But we've got a couple tokens this week you can use. I like the vulture protection, which is just automatically applied. So they've got it. The Underdog's got a lot going on for week 1 here. So high on Pitts. He's a mismatch no matter who guards him. Cousin says that's his favorite target. Definite TD1 upside. Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is a great trade for you. You got a wide receiver of equivalent value, and you got a huge upgrade at tight end. It's a great trade. Maybe you get a higher ceiling out of Chase on a weekly basis, but Amon-Ra, I mean, come on. All right. So, yeah. When I'm looking at Underdog pick'ems, I'm really going to look at those matchups that I talked about earlier. So, I just don't want to go with all touchdown scorers, though, you know? So easy to want to take a touchdown scorer. Oh, I'm not even under NFL. There we go. So, yeah, like this sometimes I like to enter like all Jags, all Dolphins players, like just bet on one matchup. So like we take Tua, T-Law's passing yards, Tyreek Hill to score. Apparently I can't do that one. Oh, they want to prevent you from taking the passing touchdown total and one of the receivers from the same team, which it's not just Underdog who will do that. Wow, they have first touchdown scorer lines now too. Man, there's no receiving line for Hill. He's at 18 fantasy points. I like Waddle over. Oh, they're really. Pete's here. Hey, Pete.
Morning, beautifuls.
What's up, man?
Eventful morning I saw.
We've got all kinds of stuff going on here. It's been great. But nothing too impactful. Tyreek Hill's going to play. Dak gets the bag. And Chase is active. Chase will play on a snap count. So let's go. Who's your prediction to finish QB1, wide receiver 1, RB1, tight end 1? Let's go against the grain a little bit here. Let's go. Let's go Jalen Hurts. Let's go Amon-Ra St. Brown, Breece Hall, and Dalton Kincaid. Some hot takes.
Not too hot though. Only medium
Not too hot.
spice.
Little spicy. But I don't know. I could also see Laporta just repeating. Could see like Trey McBride. Could see. I know week 1 wasn't great. I could still see Kelsey. We'll see. Tight end's a little tougher there. QB is like, is Josh Allen really going to be the QB1 again this year? Maybe.
He better be.
Yeah, good chance. But if there's someone who's not like Mahomes, because I know week 1 wasn't great fantasy wise for Mahomes, but like he'll be fine. Mahomes or Allen, I still think, especially with what we saw Friday night, like Hurts has the rushing upside, has the passing upside. Lamar Jackson probably close to. RB1 who's not C-Mac is Breece or Bijan.
Saquon. Sleep.
Saquon, yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah. Good start.
Zamir White, B. Tom, Javonte need to flex 1. I mean, I say for a floor, I just flex Zamir White. If you want upside, go B Tom. Christian's got Brees and Amon-Ra in a 16-man league. That's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Probably a good thing. My running backs in my 16-team league are not good. J-Dub's going with Garrett Wilson, Kyle Pitts, and CJ Stroud. Is that against Pete or a different league?
I think that's his finish first picks.
Oh, it is. You're right.
He better not have that team against me. I'm in trouble.
You missed we need a running back prediction too, J-Dubs. Mostert / Javante or JSN. And PPR, I'm completely okay with flexing JSN. But if you're going to go with one of the two running backs, I still go Mostert. I think Javante is going to have a good day, but I like Mostert too much to not start him. But if you want to go, generally, I'm going to go wide receiver in the flex, so I probably just go JSN here. Taylor, what's going on? Happy week 1 Sunday to you. Moss or Ford in full PPR? Ford. I like Moss this week, but I go Jerome Ford. Palmer, Uzavis, or the Gus bus, full PPR. Higgins is out. Got to pivot. I like Palmer. I'm really getting. I think Gus Edwards going to have a good day still, but I'm getting a little worried about the Gus bus.
Thinking J.K. Dobbins show.
Yeah. Dobbins starting to spook me a little bit.
I'm glad he's on my team.
Yeah. But yeah, I think full PPR, I still like Palmer a lot. Uzavis is fine too. Yeah, the tush push not in effect. Who loved Saquon Barkley all off season and was drafting him like crazy and begged you guys to draft him?
Not you, not us. Couldn't be.
Eric, 12 team, half PPR. We got Ridley, Addison, or Dunze. Yeah, I like all these guys this week. I think Addison and Roma Dunze are really sneaky guys who have touchdown upside this week. Ridley should have the best volume, though, is kind of the problem here. But he's got the worst matchup. So I think I go Addison. I'm really in on Addison this week. Chat, what do you guys think about Eric's question? Because this one's, I think, close. I feel kind of the same about Roma Dunze as I feel about Addison. Like, I think he's super sneaky. I think I go Addison, though.
I love the faith. I don't know.
I know.
I'm starting to go the opposite direction, Arnold.
Really?
His press conference was weird on Thursday or Friday. I can't remember when it was, but it was like, I don't know. He looked kind of chunky, kind of like whatever. Bro. He's like, oh, bro. It was like a backup quarterback where I have Kirk Cousins, who's like clean cut. Like, these are the questions, answer the questions. I don't know. Just, I got a bad vibe from it, but hey, vibes are vibes.
Vibes are vibes.
They're just vibes. He could be, whatever.
I think generally I probably go for the volume and go Ridley, but if you want a little bit, I think there's more touchdown upside with Addison or Roma Dunze. So I think it's still riskier, but you kind of got to look at your lineup. Like, did you face, Jaden Reed or AJ Brown or Barkley or Worthy? Like, likely, probably not likely, but if you need a little bit more upside, I think it might be there at the other guys. Stober, what's up? Your bench is Chase Brown, Chuba, Mason Stevenson. Drop Dobbs for Fields. Drop J-Mo for Uzavis. No, why did you drop J-Mo? Should I drop Chuba for Dowdle? No. I mean, Dallas has come out and said that the split is going to be 50-50 between Zeke and Dowdle. I hate that you dropped JMO. I mean, I like Uzavis a lot still, but JMO should not be dropped. Dropping Dobbs is fine if you needed Fields that badly, but no, I wouldn't drop Chupa. The volume's still there. Chuba is not going to face snap competition. He just has a bad matchup this week. Very hot take. McLaurin will finish as a top 10 wide receiver. I mean, I think Scary Terry will be much better this year for sure. But it's just hard to put him in top 10. Like, there's some really good wide receivers he's beating out if he's top 10. Top 20? That might be more realistic, Top 15? Maybe. Gus never has much upside. Don't ever say that. Don't ever talk down the Gus bus. Ever. Yeah, definitely a floor play. I mean, he's a late round draft pick. All right, so if you guys go on Underdog and you make a pick'em entry with a first touchdown score, which they have all over the place today, you will unlock a free Amon-Ra St. Brown over half a total yard pick. So it's not exclusive to like using the catch promo code or anything, but it's pretty cool. Some of you guys talking about first touchdown scores earlier in the chat.
We gave out that first one on Thursday, baby. I gave out Derrick Henry first touchdown scorer on Twitter, and I gave out Devonta Smith over 60.5 yards. So we started off good, and I did a decent yesterday in college. So I don't know. Give me some winners. Give us some more winners. We have a good weekend going so far.
We had a little segment earlier, so I'm trying to throw together my Underdog pick'ems. Throw in one last.
I have 50% deposit match, guys. I gotta throw a deposit.
Yeah, it's a good week. I think there's a lot of opportunity. I feel like week 1 is one of the best. Like there's still risk because, I don't know. It's like the NFL is so volatile. We always expect to know what's going to happen week 1, but also like you have so much time to prepare for week 1 and like evaluate everything, and then you cut down to 6
always
days.
The hardest. It feels like it's always the hardest week 1. We're gonna miss on somebody. Somebody we think is gonna be good is gonna be terrible this year.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. These first 2 games have been pretty straightforward,
That's what scares me. Cardinals over the Bills today. There you go.
Yeah.
Cardinals over Bills.
Let's see. All right, still we're starting Purdy, Kyron, Bijan, Garrett Wilson, Devon Smith, Pitts, Moore, and Debo. I mean, yeah, starting team looks good here. So I guess your drop's not too bad. I think JMO's gonna have a really good week 1, but your wide receivers are pretty stacked, and so are your running backs. You're pretty much stacked everywhere. Are we starting Xavier Worthy going forward? I mean, I was encouraging guys to flex Xavier Worthy this week. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be a flex option on a week in and week out basis. He's going to score 2 touchdowns every week. I don't think so. But his touchdown upside is going to be there every week. I think you look back to early Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, there's a lot more volatility. Like Tyreek Hill wasn't hitting double digits like every single week. But literally, like it's going to be close to that. I mean, that's why they brought Xavier Worthy in.
I think he's going to be maybe a little bit decoy maybe next week against Cincy. I think they play the Bengals next week. Like maybe they run him on a lot of those decoy routes and they go back to underneath stuff. They're going to force teams to pick. And it's like, what is the team going to do? Are we going to let Xavier Worthy beat us over the top? Or are we going to just like play super deep shell coverage like they did with Tyreek's last season in Kansas City? And Mahomes had to learn how to check down and do that stuff. And he knows how to do that stuff now. So it's just kind of, we got to see how teams are going to approach this.
Yeah. And the other thing is like with the Andy Reid offense, you have to expect some changes. I mean, they just do so many different things, but I mean, I think the other part of this equation is like, are you really going to bench Xavier Worthy? I mean, I think what would
I
be
mean, I am.
even more interesting is when Hollywood Brown is back. How do things look? You're going to probably get more volatility there. But it also depends. Like, are you in a single flex or a double flex league? I think you're going to see a lot more, people willing to flex Xavier Worthy on a weekly basis and double flex. But this is why, I mean, you have to expect volatility. I mean, that's why you drafted him. You drafted him for upside. The Notre Dame upset was bad. Never trust an ex-Duke quarterback.
I don't want
Shout
to talk
out
about
to Northern Illinois.
it.
Is that who it was?
Northern Illinois. Who would ever, who could ever lose to Northern Illinois, let alone lose to a team that lost to Illinois, Northern
Yeah.
Illinois? I don't know.
That's what I stay away from college football for that reason. It's either
We
like
hit. We hit. Yeah, both our upsets hit on the podcast I do on the college betting podcast. So it is scary.
it is definitely scary. It scares me. 16-man, $300 starting lineup is AR, Brees, Javonte, Amon-Ra, Pitts, Zay Flowers, McLaurin. Yeah, good starting lineup for a 16-man league for sure.
Definitely.
This could be a starting lineup in a 12-man. So
Pray for AR. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, I mean, you got $300 on the line here. Week 1 should look good. Ravens offensive line did not play well. They have 3 new starters on that offensive line, and Lamar Jackson just said whatever. Like he kind of made you forget about it. But the pass protection was really. I mean, if it wasn't Lamar Jackson back there, Chris Jones may have had like 6 sacks in this game. He was like at the quarterback so often this game. So that's going to be really interesting to watch. Should get better as the season goes on, I would hope.
And they were better towards the end of that game. It felt like they wore them out, like they were gas Kansas City's defense by the end.
Yeah. Derrick Henry's okay. No one panic. Start 2, Rachaad White, Aaron Jones, Singletary, Ford. What's up, Richard? Definitely start Rachaad White. You cannot bench Rachaad White this week. And I like Aaron Jones a lot. It's Singletary is fine. Jerome Ford, I think, is a really good start too. But Rachaad White, Aaron Jones, I'm starting both those guys this week. For sure. Giants run defense still awful. You got to expect that the Vikings are going to incorporate Aaron Jones and the run game into this game with Darnold at quarterback. Rachaad White has one of the best matchups the entire week this week. So not even close for me. But I do like Ford. Chill, what's going on, man? Hello. Start 1, PPR flex. We got Kamara, Godwin, Ridley, Chase Brown, JSN, JMO. Generally in PPR, I want to flex a wide receiver, so I lean towards Godwin. Such a good matchup here. I think he's going to have a really good day. But I really like Kamara. If you just want to flex Kamara against that Panthers run defense, I think you just roll with him. Got no problem with that. He's a great play. It's really Kamara or Godwin for me. There's other good names here, potential, but those 2 guys have the safest floor and still have really good ceilings. Who do the Packers bring in? Mike White or Ryan Tannehill? Those are our guesses. We decided on Friday night. I mean, there's like really no one else. And I don't even know if Tannehill's going to want to come in for a small stint like this. Like, I feel like he's going to want to come in to a place where he can be a starter for the rest of the season, then try and work into some sort of contract next year with, even if it's with a different team. But it's just kind of, the Tannehill thing is kind of weird. He might think he can still play, which, I mean, maybe he can. No offense, Ryan Tannehill, but the Packers have, if Jordan Love's truly going to be out for 3 weeks, like I just think it might be longer. It's tough to say.
I think 3 weeks is the minimum. I think that's a safe bet.
They got the Colts, the Titans, and the Vikings. Like these are 3 games that they can squeeze out. If they can squeeze out, I mean, frankly,
That Titans game could be a problem. That Titans and Colts
they're on
game
the
could
road.
be more
Yeah.
problems than they think. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. But if Jordan Love's only out 3 weeks, they really only need to win like one of these games.
You got to
You
win.
know,
Yeah, I guess you could lose the 2 AFC games. You got to beat the Vikings
I was about to say the
essentially if
Vikings
you're the
game probably has.
Packers.
Yeah, the Vikings game is probably the most important. You know, then they're at the Rams at home against the Cardinals. That would be 5 weeks. Then they get Houston at home week 7. That'd be 6 weeks. Then they're at Jacksonville at home against Detroit before they have a bye week in week 10. Like there is a scenario where he's out through the bye week, but they after that contract, they're going to have every doctor in the Green Bay area working on Jordan Love's knee. So
All 6 of them?
all 6 of them. So they're going to do whatever they can to get him out there. So we haven't gotten like an official report, or I mean the
I think
Packers haven't been here.
MCL sprain. Yeah, it's like
Well, I know
MCL
that,
sprain
but
is the official. Yeah.
I'm just saying from like Matt LaFleur, like because they haven't been at no reason to do a press conference like until week 2 actions going underway. Like they're just resting. But yeah, I don't know who the Packers bring in. They're not
They
just
may
going to.
ride Malik Willis next week.
I don't think they could do it though.
And that's a horrible matchup because you're playing the Colts. The Colts are probably
Yeah,
the word for that because they see Anthony Richardson every day. They'll be ready for a running quarterback on defense.
this is true. This is true. So I just I don't know if they're going to bring anyone in. But if they do, I think it's Love or Love, geez. Mike White or Tannehill's been the popular name. Let's get caught up here. What's up, Glock guy? Good to see you. With Chase on a snap count, playing Neighbors over Chase. No, I still start Chase. It is interesting though. I mean, it's a good matchup for Neighbors.
Neighbors gonna have he's gonna have a good game. He'll get a
Yeah,
touch. He'll go $130 and a touchdown against us. I'm sure.
Yeah, I like Neighbors, but I'm still going Chase. Still going Chase. Like I said earlier, Chase on a snap count is still Jamar Chase. Like the touchdown upside doesn't go away there. Yeah, Kamara essentially a must start this week. And a guy that you can flex. There's only like a few running backs that I'm like, you can flex this week over a wide receiver, and Kamara definitely one of them. DK, Chase, Kirk, or Connor need 2 in full PPR. DK and Chase. For sure. And I like Kirk a lot this week. Like a lot. But you got to roll with those 2 guys. Diego looks like he missed this. Zamir White, B. Tom, or Javante. If it's full PPR, like you can definitely go with Brian Thomas here. But if you want the floor, I think you just roll with Zamir White. Javante's fine. The player that I'm most confident in here is probably Zamir White. I think he's got as good of a chance of anyone to score a touchdown today. Jacob says closer to 4 weeks. Yeah, it's just such a rough timeline. Because I feel like everyone's going to expect a minimum, but I think to be safe, they're going to end up.
They came out and said, or the report said they expect a minimum.
Really? Yeah, I mean, it makes sense too. It's just kind of like I think it's going to really depend on how many games do the Packers win in the next couple weeks.
That's true. If they're 0-3, he has to come back and play that, or 1-2. He has to play that Rams game, especially if the Lions and the Bears are cooking and the Vikings win today. It's like one of those we got to get it back or we're in trouble.
Yeah. 110%. Javonte or B Rob in non PPR? Javonte.
I like B Rob today though too.
Yeah, I don't. You've got B Rob on the road against a top 5 run defense last year. And
Mr.
then
D tackle though. I think he's
yeah,
gonna
it's
have
just
good
like
touchdowns.
it's tough here. Javonte's got a great matchup, but he's on the road with Bo Nix at quarterback. So I think you could flip a coin. This is very, very close. Very close. Javonte better matchup, but B Rob better offense.
Better player? Question mark. Yeah, better offense.
That's fair too. What do you guys think about Pickens with Fields starting today? Still a safe start. I mean, if you have to roll with him, I'm okay with it.
I love Freiermuth today. Freiermuth,
Yeah,
stunk through the roof. Freiermuth, baby, it's Freiermuth season again.
Yeah, I talked about Freiermuth earlier. I mean, he's in as good of a spot as anyone. The Falcons were really bad against tight ends last year. He's the second receiving option on this team. It's not even close. But yeah, like if you have to flex Pickens, fine. But I have a bad feeling like what is there to worry about if you're the Falcons defense? It's basically Pickens. And like they can X him out. I mean, AJ Terrell's still a good corner. So I understand the concern here. But if you have to start him, it's okay. Neighbors has Chase or DJ Moore ceiling, in my opinion. Hate how he moved up in draft so much. I mean, he does, but Daniel Jones throwing him the football complicates things.
Nice. All right, I got shout out Explore More on mine for the $5 super chat. Thank you. Switched out T Higgins for Jaden Reed this week. What an incredible play! Just all-time top tier play from him, and it's his first year playing fantasy. So bravos, brother, and thanks for the $5.
Very nice. Yeah, I looked through. I have one league where I have Jaden Reed, Saquon Barkley, and oh gosh, now I don't remember. Hold on, I want to pull it up now. I was like, this is my best start to week 1, maybe ever. Gosh, I'm in so many leagues.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm in 6 leagues and I'm overwhelmed over here.
It should just be my highest point total. Wow, J-Dubs, I'm going to beat you this week.
I think me and J-Dubs are in a dogfight.
Oh, here we go. I have Barkley, Pacheco, Jaden Reed. Yeah, that was a nice start. 82 points between the three. Let's see. In my redraft, I drafted Jordan Love. Will T-Law be a good fill-in? For sure. Yeah, for sure. Cordero Patterson season. We might see a little Cordero Patterson action.
Let's go. Arthur Smith, his boy. I mean,
yeah, would it really surprise anybody? I don't think so. Do we think Jamar snap count means they're only going to run the ball? No. They're going to get Jamar Chase involved. The real question for me is, does Jermaine Burton get involved today? Like, we know Uzava's going to be involved, but Burton's got to be the wide receiver 3 on paper right now. That would be interesting. But no, I mean, they're going to run the football, but they're going to throw it too. Enjoy this week 1, Jaden Reed. I mean, that's the other thing with Jaden Reed is like, we need a healthy Jordan Love, or at least a player who can throw the football down, you know. But still very positive if you own Reed. What defense will you guys start? Fields or what quarterback? It says defense, then you switched in the chat. Fields or Caleb Williams? I'm still going Caleb Williams here. Isn't this ironic? Yeah, I'm going Caleb Williams here. At home, first NFL start. Not a great secondary, even if they added Snead. Rest of that secondary, not good. Just go ahead and roll Caleb Williams. Is my 12-team man league bad? A Rich, A Chain, Connor, Amon Ra, Lave, Pitts, Monty. No, I mean, you got plenty of upside. I prefer to flex a wide receiver there, but I think Monty is about as good as a running back that you're going to be able to flex. So I think that's fine. I think that is fine. Malik Willis named the starter for Green Bay next week. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. All right, Colts. Colts in good shape. Packers fans
I think
distraught.
They're going to try and just squeeze out a win and get Jordan Love back out there as soon as possible.
Josh Jacobs, massive upside next week.
I mean, that is the thing, regardless of how you feel about Malik Willis, there's still a lot of offensive playmakers on this team. So don't get me wrong. I'm just, I'm not overly excited about this, but
I like the positive spin. Yeah. It's bad, guys. It's really bad.
Well, somebody's going to still be okay.
What if they don't score any points? What if they just get? What if they have yards of offense and don't score?
But once again, it's really similar to the Jets last year, and everyone's like, yeah, like, get rid of Garrett Wilson, get rid of Breece Hall, and then they're perfectly fine. Like, the upside lowers. I mean, I think it helped Breece Hall last year because so many dump offs.
It
did. But like,
those receivers aren't Garrett Wilson. Josh Jacobs, and their Packers D is bad. That's the real problem, I think. Like, the Jets at least got the ball a lot. Yeah, like the Packers could be chasing the game.
Also, like the field conditions were so bad Friday. Definitely did not help the defenses. Didn't help the offenses either, though. But yeah, maybe Packers are 0-3, as J-Dub says. Full PPR, who do you guys prefer, Pickens or Stevenson? This is tough. It's tough. I'd probably still go Pickens. But if you want to go Ramondre, I think you could. It's just like, I don't know. We'll have to kind of see. How do you feel about Pickens this week? Because I'm a little.
I don't. Yeah, Pickens is always kind of whatever with me. It's like maybe he has a good week, maybe he doesn't. He'll probably have a highlight catch that's out of bounds.
Like, I've been fine with him all week, and then now I'm kind of at a point where I'm like, I think this Falcons defense is in a good spot here. We got Fields. I mean, I'm not like discrediting Fields, but it's just like it's just tough. I think full PPR, I still trust Pickens, but because like Ramondre, it's like I'm not out on Ramondre this week. It's just like he's
Like,
still.
what is Ramondre? Yeah.
What is Ramondre? Is exactly the way to put it.
It, yeah. New England at Cincy.
What is New England?
Yeah.
I
What
agree.
is New England? It's a collection of states in the northern part of the United States,
Yeah,
central home to the United States Revolution,
yeah, exactly.
and home of a lot of Super Bowl, home of a lot of Super Bowls and good football for the last 20 years. And now they're terrible, and everybody's happy.
Pretty much summed up. I guess I go Pickens. Thoughts on Jacobs now? Our team's just going to focus on him. I mean, even if they do, the volume's going to be there, so take advantage of the volume.
It's all terrible for Green Bay, right? Of course, they don't have any. Everybody's hurt.
Yeah. Sorry, you were lagging for a second there.
Oh, I was talking about the running back depth in Green Bay. They got nobody.
That is true. I mean, what's his name? Emmanuel Wilson looked okay, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna freak out about the Packers situation just yet. I think like you own Jacobs, you own Reed, you can still start these guys. Dobbs, Musgrave, Kraft, probably fading. Watson, I still think there's upside, but he's gonna be really risky. Dunze, wide receiver one on the Bears stat wise by end of season. Not ready to
I
say
can
over
see it.
DJ Moore. Yeah, I mean I could see it, but not ready to count out DJ Moore here. Not ready.
I think touchdowns would be. Oh, Dunze touchdowns is the safe one if you're gonna
Fair.
pick like. Oh yeah, DJ Moore has all the yards. Dunze catches all those jump balls.
Yeah, I'm okay with him over Keenan Allen.
We're out on Keenan Allen. I'm out on Keenan Allen. Too weird. I don't know.
It's so crazy because he was so good last year. But it's really easy to be out on him. Sutton, Judy, Mostert at the flex. Sutton in full PPR, but I'm okay with Mostert.
Please
I think
don't pick
Mostert's gonna
Jerry
have a good day. We'll see. Time for Steelers to bust out that RPO package. Yeah. Chase is playing, but should I still play him? Yes. Yes. Don't worry about Chase. You can worry, but I think Chase is fine. What about playing Burrow or A-Rich? I take the upside. Just go with A-Rich. Just go with A-Rich. Burrow's fine, but go with A-Rich. Musgrave looking like the tight end too. I mean, I'm not coping when I say this, but I don't want to overreact because Musgrave still had 2 targets. He just didn't catch either of them. Then Tucker Kraft had 3. So it's like, well, I mean, I take that back, I guess. The targets, I guess, aren't as important because Tucker Kraft was on the field for 96% of snaps and Musgrave 25%. So, am I worried about Luke Musgrave? Yeah. Am I fading Luke Musgrave? Yes. So, am I upset about Luke Musgrave? Yes. But it's also one game. Let's kind of see here. But yeah, maybe this was a volatile tight end situation to walk into. Fortunately, I started drafting a lot less of Luke Musgrave on Underdog as the offseason went on. And I actually, towards the end, I started to try and even things out and draft Tucker Kraft if I had Jordan Love on teams, but we'll see. What are we doing with Andrews buying low? You can. Yeah. People are like so panicked on Andrews.
I mean, he hasn't had a good season in like 3 years.
Yeah,
Like a monster season.
I don't have any shares of Andrews in redraft or dynasty. So I'm maybe less concerned. Um, I
We're
mean,
also not clouded by it. Like we're not clouded by Andrews. You're just looking objectively at it. That's the way it is.
yeah. To be fair, he was on a great pace last year before he got hurt. He was still top 15. The 2 seasons before, he was tight end 4 and tight end 1. Um, so I totally get being in on Andrews, especially with what the Ravens did last year. But I think what's bigger and more in everyone's faces is that Isaiah Likely just looked so good with the ball in his hands. And then last year at the end of the season when Andrews was hurt, Likely was really good. And he's much younger. And that's kind of what happens. You think about like Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert's a good example of like Ertz gets banged up with the Eagles. He's like a part of the reason why they win a Super Bowl. But then Goddard's there and he's just playing better. I don't know what Andrews' contract looks like though, but yeah, I think for purely this season, redraft, if you can get Andrews at the right price, I'm okay with it for sure. J-Dubs, Luke Musgrave is a league winner, okay? Vikings or Saints defense, I go Saints.
Yeah. Safer, much safer play.
Yeah. Who's a higher floor of the Saints?
Yeah.
Saints.
Vikings do like to get pick sixes against the Giants, though.
Yeah, I do think if you're in a position where you truly need a stream of defense, you can go with the Vikings, but it's the Saints. If I don't have a viable tight end, I try. Yeah, I mean, if you drafted Dallas Goedert and Luke Musgrave, you know, I don't mind trading for Mark Andrews. Depends on the situation. And I mean, you're definitely buying him low. Like, I don't know if you're going to have a better week to buy Mark Andrews this whole year. So if you want to go out and get him, I am not against doing so in any way whatsoever. All right, guys, we'll go for a couple more minutes here. Exciting morning.
Oh, boy.
A lot to look forward to today. We got some nice surprises. Dak Prescott gets extended. Tyreek Hill made the morning interesting. Doesn't look like it's going to matter. Chase is going to play.
Justin Fields starting.
Justin Fields is a starter. Likely on the waivers will be hot. Yeah, I mean, free agent.
He'll be number 1.
Yeah. Right now, I don't know if we haven't had anyone really emerge. It's just Justice Hill and Isaiah Likely. Nothing really came out of that Eagles Packers game, except if you have like Stafford, Rodgers, guys like that hanging on the waiver wire, Baker, Kirk Cousins. They might not be because of the Jordan Love situation. I have Kenneth Walker, Alvin Kamara, and Jamar Chase. Need 2 to start. Who y'all doing? Please help me. I played Saquon plays CMC. I'm toast if I play anything wrong. This is tough. Kenneth, I love this week. Kamara, I love this week, and I'm still don't really want to sit Jamar Chase. Played Saquon and CMC. Jeez. I mean, you might get lucky with CMC.
You already be yeah, you might already be toast, though. Like, it could already be over with that Saquon performance.
It's true, too.
Sometimes it just happens.
It's half PPR. Then I start Kenneth and Alvin Kamara. Really tough to bench Jamar Chase. Why can't you start? Who are you starting at wide receiver? Who's that much better that you're starting them at over Chase? I mean, listen, Walker and Kamara are facing 2 bottom 3 run defenses last year. Like 2 of the absolute worst run defenses in the league last year. You know, like they're in smash spots and half PPR. Already have JJ and Adams. Adams is such a good matchup. JJ is such
Okay.
a good matchup. That makes sense. Trust your gut
Just
here. I mean, I think I go with the running backs in half PPR. You got plenty of
I think
touch.
yes. I think they have player upside. Like they could have huge. Like Jamar Chase might have a good day. I don't think Jamar Chase is going to be volume to have like a crazy day. You got to take a risk here.
Yeah, I go with the running backs half PPR. That's tough though. I didn't draft Barkley enough if the Eagles can't get that tush push right. I tried to tell you guys.
It's a 26.
Tried to. But it's just one game. Let's not like make a full season reaction here. You
I've
know.
overreacted. I won. I already won the auction league.
Yeah, I mean that might be true. That might be true. Pete's been lagging.
Yeah. Rams.
It might honestly be because you're streaming to both channels. I feel like that's the
Maybe. I don't know.
only thing we've done differently. We'll see.
The streaming to Twitch and on my channel too. And I don't know. My internet was funky the last 2 days. There's a bunch of down fiber in the neighborhood. So that could also be it.
They're trying to they're coming for our channel. They're trying to lower our quality on purpose in week 1. All right, guys, 30 minutes till kickoff. Go for a couple more minutes here if you guys keep coming in with questions. So y'all go JJ, Chase, Cook, Walker, Kamara, and sit Adams. I mean, I think you can go Adams over Chase if you want. It's tough here. Chat, how would you guys set the lineup here in half PPR? I think you have to go Walker and Kamara in half PPR. I still stand by that. I think it comes down. I think you had to start JJ. It comes down between Chase on a snap count and or Adams. Adams with Gardner Minshew at quarterback, but Adams has a really, really good matchup. Jamar Chase better play the whole game or I'm crushed. He's on a snap. I think he'll play the whole game, but on a snap count. That makes sense. All right. I can't believe the off season's done. I mean, I guess
It's over.
We've
made it.
It's already
We're
been
here.
done, but yeah, we're here.
But we're here. Full slate today or something like that.
Ford or Swift. I like both this week. I'm still in on my guy DeAndre Swift this week. I'll say Swift for upside because I think the PPR potential's there. Receiving work is there. I still really like Jerome Ford. If you want to go for a floor, I think he's fine too. So Swift for upside, Jerome Ford for the floor. All right, so just so you guys know, in terms of the week, what you guys can look forward to. Sunday nights, Pete will be putting out a like post Sunday action. Yeah. Reaction, panic video for you guys every Sunday night. Mondays we'll have waiver wires first thing in the morning. Then defensive streams and must starts will go out Monday before Monday Night Football. May or may not do a short stream on Monday nights. but no Sunday night stream. I would say for the most part, it kind of, I don't know. You might get a Monday night stream, you might not. Tuesdays must start running backs, must start wide receivers, or I guess I should say start sit running backs, start sit wide receivers, every matchup, every player. Wednesday morning, start sits quarterbacks and tight ends. Wednesday night must start kickers. Thursdays, you'll get kind of those like must start wide receiver, running backs. And one of those will probably go out Friday, actually. Then Friday night, you guys will get a buy low video. If not, it'll go out Saturday morning. I'm still kind of tinkering with the end of the week schedule. And then Saturday, you'll get like last minute waiver wire ads. Then I'm toying with the idea of adding in a running back and or wide receiver ranking video. So plenty of content for you guys this year, every day throughout the week. And to add to that, there'll be no stream Tuesdays. Every now and then I'm going to try and stream Tuesday nights, but it might be hard for me. Then Wednesday nights, there will be a stream. Thursday nights is going to depend what time Thursday night football ends. Friday night, there'll be a stream. Saturday night, there'll be a stream. And Sunday mornings, there'll be a stream. So just who I started, thanks to Catches made me better at fantasy football. Hopefully it shows this football season. Happy to help, and good luck to you, Gob. Love having you in the chat. All right, guys, so I think we got through all the questions for the day. If you guys need anything last minute, hop over to Discord or drop a comment on one of the videos, and I will try to get back to you before kickoff. But that should do it. And like I said, plenty of content coming out all week long for you guys to get you ready for week 2. Good luck to everyone today. Let's bring home some dubs. And let's have some fun. Don't forget, at the end of the day, it's just fantasy. Enjoy the games today. Real Gopher, enjoy the games. Fellas, much love. Stay blessed. Look forward to chatting y'all as much as I can the rest of the season. We appreciate it. Much love to you. Jeff says, get a haircut. Ban Jeff. Mods, ban Jeff to end the stream. Pete, I'll let you say bye and we'll get out of here.
All right, guys. Also, let's do it. Like I said, don't get too emotional. I don't check scores until halftime of the early window games. I just watch and enjoy. Don't overreact. It's a lot of fun. We made it. We're here. I'll be back on the channel tonight to totally not overreact or underreact to everything we see from the first 2 windows. So, it's a blast. We made it. Let's go get those dubs.
Eat some food. Get some wings ready. Whatever your Sunday tradition is. Let's go. J-Dub's actually... Did she actually ban Jeff? I'm just joking.
Unban Jeff.
How do I need a haircut, though? My hair's like... I just got a haircut. Oh, yeah, he's kidding. It's okay. I was just joking. All right, guys. Good luck today. Crossing my fingers for each and every one of you. And we'll be back within the next day or so. Love you guys, man. Loves community. Love the Catch fam. Enjoy your Sunday. With that, I'll say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, yes, out here on the Catch. And